The Holy Gospel according to Mark. And from there he arose and went away to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And he entered a house and would not have anyone know it, yet he could not hide. But immediately a woman of yes, my dear, there's a woman. Where did she go? Yes. But immediately a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an unclean spirit heard of him. And he came, and she fell down at his feet. Now the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by birth. She begged him to cast out the demon of her daughter. And Jesus said to her, "Let the children first be fed, for is it not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs?" But she answered Jesus, saying, "Jesus, Lord, yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." And Jesus said to her, "For saying this, you may go on your way. The demon has left your daughter." And she left and went home, and found the child lying in bed, and the demon gone. Then Jesus returned from the region of Tyre, and went through Sidon to the Sea of Galilee, through the region of Decapolis. And they brought him to a man who was deaf, and had a speech impediment. And they besought him to lay his hands upon him. And taking him aside, the multitude privately, he put his fingers in the man's ears, and he spat and touched his tongue, and looked up to heaven, and he said, "Ephathia," that is, be opened. And his ears were opened, and his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. And he charged them to tell no one. But the more Jesus charged them, the more zealously they proclaimed it. And they were astonished beyond measure, saying, "Jesus has done all these things well. He even makes the deaf hear, and the dumb to speak." This ends the reading of our gospel. Please be seated. We hear many things coming out of both readings this morning that go hand in hand. The Syrophoenicians, I could say that at home, but I can't say it here. She had the faith that could move mountains. And in that faith, she knew that if she just could put her hands to Jesus and beg him for a healing, her daughter would be healed no matter what the demon was that was inside of her. Faith of a mountain, for sure. When we hear as Jesus moves on, he finds the man who's not only deaf, but when he can speak, it is stuttered. It is dark and stark. It's just right there because he can't get the words out. His friends around him know of Jesus, and they know he can heal. So they bring their friend to Jesus. Their faith has taught them that Jesus can heal no matter what. And then we hear from the book of James that even if we have faith that so much faith that we can move this building 2 inches closer to the parking lot is wonderful. But if we do nothing to back that up, what good is our faith? We might as well have none. When we see the stranger who is hungry, who is in need of shelter, who is in the need of warm clothes in the winter, and we do nothing, and we go, "Oh, well, I prayed. I prayed that they'd find, I don't know, maybe a house or a car to live in. And I prayed that somebody would give them clothes. And I prayed somebody would feed them. I prayed, okay, but they're still cold and they're still hungry and they still have nothing to live in. And I'm glad that you prayed. But I'd be even more glad if your actions would have went along with your prayers. That's what we hear coming to us from James this morning. And we hear that it is so easy to love somebody new in your midst who looks like you, who doesn't smell, who dresses nice, who doesn't have food crumbs in their beard, or they don't have bedhead, or you see when they open their wallet at offering, there's maybe a little money in that little wallet there. It's easy to love them. But what if they do come to church with bedhead and with holes in their breeches and barely a sandal for a shoe, and maybe they haven't had a bath for a day or 6, and maybe the remnants of their last meal still cling to their beard? We don't so easily want to love them or invite them to come and sit by us. And she's fine, Grandma. I can see her. She's fine. She's doing fine. I get to see what y'all don't, so she's fine.
She's trying to find the other kids.
Well, she's back.
Okay, I'll help her.
See, we could pray that Cambry find the children. Or Grandma can get up and help Cambry find the children. See, do you get that? Do you get it? Really? Not to bring tears or to embarrass, but Wilton and Georgia and Kent have been recipients of a huge amount of prayers for Kent since he's become so ill. And they have seen prayers answered. Not fully yet, but our prayers aren't done. And they've seen action for their son, just not with only prayer. They have had family, they have had wonderful doctors and excellent nurses and nutritionists and care workers and social workers and ambulance drivers and all kinds of people God has put in their path on behalf of our prayers and their prayers. And Kent has made it at least home to Yankton, and that is a prayer. And Wilton and Georgia and Anna are here this morning because they know that Kent is in a place right now where there is enough care that they can be gone long enough at least to come to worship this morning. Prayers and action. Am I asking you to gather up all your clothes and all the food in your house and fly to a third world country or drive over to Pennsylvania or something to take care of people who need those things? That is not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you as people of Faith United Parish to be the people God has called us to be, as we heard through our biblical readings this morning. To support not only people who are in this congregation, but people who are out in our community, out in Verdell and Lynch and Verdigris and Lindy and Bloomfield and Creighton and Crofton and all those areas around us. I know, because we saw yesterday, that the Polka Run for Mouse, who unfortunately died before this poker run happened, a whole bunch of motorcyclists from all over wherever came and participated in that poker run for him. I passed a few of them as Ron prayed for his life, as he looked down at my speedometer. It was fast. But they're still here. He prayed real hard that the brakes would work. They did that. Maybe they don't even know who Mouse was. But they did that, one, because I'm sure it was really fun, and it was a great day to go on a motorcycle ride. But they also did it to support somebody. And the benefit that it was fun and it was something they loved to do is yay-hoo on top of that. But they didn't just pray for Mouse, they did something for him. And that's what we're called to do. And even in a smaller ways, but ways that are so important, we are called into worship together. And in worship, we have a lot of parts that make worship come together. We have people who read and people who light our candles and put communion together and all kinds of things. And we need all those pieces and parts. So for the next 5 minutes or so, however long it takes, because I will wait, I'm going to invite all of you to go. There are 7 stations throughout the fellowship area with opportunities for you to get to do something for or in worship service. There is a reading, there is a communion server, there is a bell ring or a prayer person, a reader, altar guild, and an acolyte. And all of them have sign-up sheets. And all of them have 20 spaces if you get really excited and really want to do something. So this is Rally Day, as a day we start Sunday school. And this is a rally day of this congregation, that you put your prayers for Faith United Parish to work through getting to do these services to help make this worship service come off. So you can turn off the camera because the sermon is over. And I now invite all of you to stand and go and sign.